Karmelo gon' be just fine. God gon' see about this in his own time. Hold your head high, don't let him steal your light. Karmelo gon' be just fine tonight. Peace be still, peace be still. That's just how we feel. Peace be still, peace be still. Keep your faith for real. Storm clouds hanging, people talking every day. Everybody got opinions, got something to say. But we praying for the truth wherever it may lead. Praying for the family and everybody's needs. Know we tapped in, we watching every move. Trying to stay together while the world keeps choosing sides to prove somebody hurting, somebody crying. That's the truth. So we asking God for wisdom while we're searching for the proof. Karmelo gon' be just fine. God gon' see about this in his own time. Hold your head high, don't let him steal your life. Karmelo gon' be just fine tonight. Peace be still, peace be still. That's just how we feel. Peace be still, peace be still. Keep your faith for real. Stay strong, little bro, don't give up the fight. The Most High still working in the dark and in the light. Family standing with you, love standing too. Keep your faith in the storm till you make it through. When the pressure gets heavy and the nights get long, remember every trial ain't where you belong. Keep your eyes on them all, keep your heart on God. One step at a time, keep moving through it all. We ain't giving up, we ain't backing down. Love gonna lift us when we're feeling on the ground. Hands to the heavens, prayers in the sky, trusting in the truth as the days go by. Karmelo gon' be just fine. God gon' see about this in his own time. Family coming, faith coming too. The strength of the Most High gonna carry you. Peace be still, peace be still. That's just how we feel. Peace be still, peace be still. Keep your faith for real. Karmelo, stay strong. Keep holding on.
All right. Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Saturday Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Okay, so as you can see, I have some guests here today. We have The Lounge and Obasi. Okay, so please give them a shout out, put some fire emojis in the chat, and let's get ready to get into it. But before we do, you all know how it goes. Let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes. Lights up, everyone, please. Like and share. Thank you in advance.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
Okay, so with that all being said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes hair oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts. You can also find her products at Walmart.com. And don't forget that she sells beard oil as well. Okay, so as I was telling you all, beloveds, we have the lounge here in Obasi, and I'll let them introduce themselves and tell you where you can find them on their social media. Now, Sam is supposed to be here, Secret Service Sam. He was booked for a photo shoot at the last minute this morning, but he may hop on for a few minutes after he's done getting ready in about 20 minutes. Okay. So the lounge, you can go first.
Hey everybody, welcome in, welcome in. I am the Lounge, and you guys can find me here on YouTube, on Facebook, on Instagram and TikTok at the Lounge 8385.
All right. Obasi, you can go ahead, beloved.
Thank you. I'm Obasi, and you can find me at Cerebral Assassin 221 on here.
All right, great. Okay, so let's just get into it. So now the latest news is that Megan Metcalf was on a live, okay, and she talked about her sons and the incident with the cheerleaders. Okay, so I think we might want to get started with that first because I just heard about this first last night. How about you all?
Yes, I just heard about it last night too. Hmm.
Okay, so let me shout out to some of my people in the chat, and then we'll get that on the screen. Okay, so hello, all my loyal royals. I see you, DJ The Truth TV, Leon, Natasha J, Pearly, Cherokee Descendant Dale. All right, let's get it popping. Aqua Girl Rising, 504 Nola, Star is here. Okay, Dan. All right, Deborah. Or Deborah, I'm sorry. Alice is here. Love Christy. Cookie is in the virtual building. Marie, okay, let's get it popping. Songwriter Sunny, 57 Beige Fox. Chili Willie from Philly. Chosen one indeed. All right. Jago the Rogue. Leon, I see you, beloved. Danny, Nubia Rock, Quiet Storm, D Major, User MX. Okay, so with that all been said, shout out to all of my loyal royals and everyone tuned into the Queen, and a big shout out to my moderators because y'all know they be putting in work. So moderators, hey Millicent, moderators, I need you guys to be on the lookout for trolls. Please make sure that you block any and all trolls. Hey Ashkan, Grand Rising, beloved, make sure you block any and all trolls. Okay. Hey Dangerous Candy Girl. All right, no more drama. Okay, so with that all being said, let's go ahead and get it started. Hey, Truth Brown, beloved, I'm gonna pull up the audio or the video, and
Hmm.
also there's another video in here. This is from 2025, I believe, when Megan was on a live back then, and she was saying something about Dwayne. Now, Dwayne was on the show last night, and it
Mm.
kind of seemed like she was sending her people after him.
That's why I get on these sometimes to listen and hear these people talk and just go, I'm amazed, but on a different note, I wanted to say I heard you guys talking about the video, and I guess one of you said that you. I went on Thursday morning. So there's another gentleman apparently that has posted that he watched it. He said that Karmelo was getting chased and all that, and I don't know if that's something that you guys know how to debunk those things because we all know that that's true.
Don't you worry, sweetheart. I am on it. His name is Dwayne, and I am. No worries.
Okay, there you go.
If you know anything about the cheerleader email, we kind of talked to Brandon about it a little bit. He didn't go into too much detail because of his, and he just said like kids were disciplined, and that's
yeah. So the incident was that we had played Frisco Liberty that night and lost, and we should have beat them because they hadn't won a game in like 3 years. So the whole football team was frustrated and upset, and Austin and Hunter were physically upset even at the game. Like they got in trouble from the coaches because like Austin threw his helmet. Hunter was the one who's kind of more of like he would get more upset about things. He went back out on the field and finished the game. Austin was like, I'm done. He was just, there was only like 2 minutes left and he was just pissed. He was just in one of those moods. But after the game was over, him and Hunter and I know for sure one other kid who was an offensive lineman went to Cane's to eat. And I'm going to be honest with you, the cheerleaders, I loved the girls. I wasn't a fan of the coach because as a coach myself, I was a volleyball coach for a long time. You want to encourage your kids to encourage the other teams and all those kind of things. And I felt like our cheerleaders just were like,
P. Diddy is a cheer coach. She's a cheer
what's
coach.
the point?
Yeah.
They were just like, what's the point? This is, our team's trash, this kind of thing. And the girls apparently were talking about the game and making comments about how crappy our team was. And Hunter, more than likely said something nasty to one of them, because that's how he approaches things. And Austin, just when everyone was like, man, I don't understand why you guys got to be like that. Like, we're upset that we lost, and this is how you're not even going to support us. So there was not like a physical altercation. It was more of verbal, of like, you guys are assholes for not, you're supposed to be First School Memorial supporters, and you're acting like we're shit. Mm-hmm. And you're cheerleaders on top of that. So fast forward to the email that was sent. From what I understand, the coach had talked to Austin and Hunter about just what happened on the field the night before. And then the coach had sent the email, and Coach Jackson, who is our head football coach, actually told them, if you have a problem, you need to go to the police, because it was off campus. And there was nothing he's going to do because it was off campus. So nothing came of it other than, yes, there was a talking to. And again, I go back to the original fact. Austin would never disrespect a girl per se. Hunter, he could have some choice words for someone who was going to be disrespecting him. I'm just going to be completely frank. That's just how he is. They were identical twins, but they were two completely different type of children. But the end result, nothing happened in that regard. And then I actually asked someone here recently, how it got leaked or whatever, how the email had gotten out to all these people or whatever. And someone had mentioned more than likely it was a mom that was just pissed off and just decided she was just going to do whatever to hurt my kids more than because she felt disrespected, because maybe it was her daughter that felt disrespected. Wow. So she felt disrespected and wanted to.
Or she saw the name Metcalf in the news and she wanted some clout. There's that.
Right.
So it wasn't even a cheerleader. It was the mom.
I don't know if it was a mom that sent the email. I think it was a mom that leaked it.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe the mom and the cheerleader wrote it together, and then
it definitely wasn't cool.
Why is that even a big deal though? Like,
because they're trying to paint them out as bullies, and they weren't. But they're trying to.
Being frustrated.
They absolutely were bullies. That's just a fact. So many people have said that, not just the cheerleaders, and also people said the day of the incident, they got in trouble, and Megan knows that. That's why Megan was able to beat the ambulance to the hospital, because she had driven from where she lived, Grapevine or wherever she lived. She'd driven there because they supposedly called her, and Jeff, about their boys harassing some girl. Harassing some girl from Emerson High School.
Yep.
So they got in trouble. So this isn't their first time with the cheerleaders. There were other people that said they were bullies also. Now, these people they say we don't want any accountability. That is not the problem here. We're not saying there shouldn't be any accountability. At the end of the day, we're saying it was self-defense, because that is what it was. If someone is putting hands on you, whether they push you, shove you hard enough for you to fall off your seat into someone else, or they punch you in the face, and there's 4 of them and they're all almost twice your size, you do have a right to defend yourself. Now, if this were in the reverse, and there was Austin being 130 pounds, 5'9", sitting there trying to get shelter from the rain, minding his own white business, and 4 black thugs came up bigger than him, almost twice his size, and they punched him or pushed him, and he pulled out a tool that was used to put up tents or tighten cleats or whatever they want to say, and then poked one of them until they were dead, they would be absolutely praising him. They would be making all sorts of excuses. They would say it was self-defense, just like we're saying. But because Austin is white and Karmelo is black, the racist people want to paint a different narrative. They don't think that black people should ever be entitled to stand up to them or to protect ourselves from them. That's what they don't think. And these are the same people, mind you, that have all of the protection and all the good things to say and excuses for Chud the Builder. Chud the Builder was going around provoking people until he finally almost killed somebody, which no one is surprised because that's why he had the gun with him. What he was trying to do was provoke Black people by calling them monkeys and chimps and the N-word, so they put hands on him or tried to, so he'd have an excuse. Okay? That's being a bully. And that's the same things that her sons were doing. She can sit here, and then I want you to pay attention to how she tries to make an excuse for Hunter's nefarious behavior and the rages that the cheerleader said he got into. But hold on, one more thing. Let's just read that email from the cheerleaders, because she's saying that they were frustrated because the cheerleaders weren't supporting them. They were like, oh, our team's losing, so what's the big deal? That is not what the cheerleader said. The other cheerleaders and I have tried to make an effort to stay supportive, okay, and spirited throughout the football season. Hold on, let me pause this because this is on a video. So it says, we have tried to stay supportive and spirited throughout the football season. However, the disrespect we feel coming from some of the football players is making it very difficult. Today, after our game against Liberty, some of us cheerleaders in uniform went to Canes. While talking amongst ourselves about the loss, Hunter Metcalf stood up and yelled at my friend, okay, and fellow varsity cheerleader, yelled that she is a fat bitch. I don't understand what triggers his rages, but to yell that unprovoked made us really upset. Now, mind you, she said rages, because this is obviously something that she felt he'd done more than once, because she said rages with a plural. She didn't say a fit of rage. She said, I don't know what triggers his rages, which means that he's done it before, and that's just what it is. Now, his mother is sitting there making excuses, and that's the problem. You should be able to call out your children and hold them accountable when you know darn well that they're wrong. They had disciplinary records at school, okay, so I've been told, and I'm sure they did. Now, she goes on to say, for my friend, as everyone in Canes, we were embarrassed or upset for my friend, and everyone at Canes looked at her and started laughing. We see the Metcalfs act out time and time again. Okay, but we trust that there is repercussions or some sort of consequence, so we stay out of it. But for it now to be directed towards one of the people that shows up to every game to support and cheer for them, okay, to cheer them on, is astounding to me. After they left Canes, one of the other football players told us Hunter said his hands were bisexual, implying that he would not only hit guys but also girls. She is not only embarrassed but genuinely scared, especially after seeing the way he can act on the field. I'm only coming to you because I feel that you should be aware. Hold on. I feel that you should be aware of how he's acting. Okay, that he is acting like this in public places, which is not good for our school's reputation, and it's discouraging us to keep cheering them on. You see, it wasn't the fact that they lost the game that was discouraging them from making them want to continue to cheer them on. It was the fact that time and time again, they have done things that were bullying tactics, and and Hunter specifically, had fits of rage. So that was discouraging. They felt like we're your support, but this is what you do to us and how you treat us. She says, I'm sorry for having to come to you about this, but after tonight, it truly feels like it's getting out of hand. I recognize that he may be upset that we lost, but there is no justification for the way he treated my friend tonight. I would also appreciate for my name to stay confidential, as I fear what would happen if they knew. That's someone who was terrified of them. Okay, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but accountability is absolutely real. And as I said, they keep talking about accountability for Karmelo, but what about them? Okay, what about them? Let's continue.
During football, it's normal. Like I don't get why that's a big deal. Like we haven't been frustrated during sports during high school.
Well, and I can tell you this, Megan and Bayboy, as a cheer coach, my girls would have been in more trouble because you're supposed to support your team no matter what.
That's how I felt.
Now listen how they're all caping for her. And Obasi in the lounge, I want you all to give your thoughts in a second. But listen to how they're all caping for her and acting like what they did is no problem. It's the cheerleaders who were at fault. The cheerleaders were in fact the victims of their bullying. And they're sitting up here making excuses. These people are delusional. And you see, all of these racist people are delusional, and that's why they don't care about the facts or the truth or the evidence. They just want vengeance because Austin was white. Okay, if Austin had been a black person and this happened between him and Melo, this wouldn't even be a story. It would never have made national news. Okay, and if Melo had been the one that lost his life due to Austin, it wouldn't have made national news. And they want to say this isn't about color. It's always been about color. Now, the lounge, give your thoughts on this, beloved.
So, my thoughts is that Megan, the mother, is enabling their behavior. At no time did she say, "Well, let me see, what happened. Let's meet up. Let's see what happened between, my boys and the cheerleaders." She is enabling their behavior. Never did she address their behavior. She's always providing excuses. And I believe, I mean, this is just my opinion. I believe she was probably even scared of them twins. They were probably even doing things to her, they're big boys. But she enabled them and their behavior because not only were they doing this at the football games, I'm sorry, with the cheerleaders, but I know one attorney I seen, I believe, went to the school and I believe he pulled the records of their behavior, if I'm not mistaken. And their behavior, I mean, it tells all across the board they were just point blank, period, bullies. And the dad did not help with the situation. He was an absentee father, lived an hour away from them, and probably when he got them, he would possibly be teaching them how their hands can be bisexual according to what they were telling. Their hands are bisexual, meaning that they're gonna, their hands can, be laid on women, girls, or boys. But at the same time, it all stems down to the parents. Now, while they were, getting on Carmelo's parents, Carmelo was a great student, great grades, was working, I think, at Foot Locker. And then you got them, which, they had like savagery behavior. I'm sorry. But, sorry, not sorry, but they were just savages. They were bullies and they were known to be bullies. So, this situation was a self-defense situation, just cut and dry, in my opinion, because what people are not talking about, what you are, Queen, and other, a couple of other people are, the main thing that started this whole altercation is when Austin put his hands on Carmelo. See, a lot of people aren't saying that, they're not saying that Austin assaulted Carmelo by pushing him first. That's what initiated all of this. So they're like providing excuses. Well, does it have to be met with a knife, this, that, and third? You don't know what it can be met with. People get unalived in fights with hands. You know what I'm saying? So there's no way you could tell somebody how to react when the situation is hot and hostile like that. And we don't know how Carmelo felt in that time. These are two big boys, and they said 4 boys were around them like a rap cipher, trying to beat him up and do things to him where it was only him. So I just believe that, this behavior that that has been shown across, different situations with these boys, it just point blank period shows that they were bullies. So that's my take on it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I was muted.
It's okay.
Oh, Bossy. Oh, Bossy, you can go ahead, beloved. I'm so sorry. I'm sitting here talking. I was muted.
Okay. It's what it always is. It's narrative control, right? It's narrative control. And one thing I always say is to live in America or adjacent of these people is to constantly be gaslit. But the narrative control, notice that when we dealt with George Floyd, notice that when we dealt with Trayvon Martin, they tried to find behavior things. What do they keep bringing up about George Floyd? Something that was debunked a long time ago about him sticking something to a pregnant woman's belly. So it's narrative control. And as I said on my live, that it's his parents' fault what happened to Austin. Because the constant minimizing of the behavior, the constant saying, oh, it was just play aggression. He was just upset. And all of those enabling adults, like both of y'all pointed out, all those enabling adults minimized the behavior and said, it is the kids' fault. It is those girls' fault. So it's like y'all pointed out so clearly that they said rages. not saying his rage in the moment. We have to listen for like context. Rages, like y'all pointed out, means that this is a reoccurring thing. Makes me think, is it a roid rage? Allegedly. Is it a roid? What triggers those rages? So these were uncontrollable white people, as they are, because like we said, they don't care about, I provided several facts. They don't care about it. They tried to minimize the guy's video who I use, Secret Service Sam. They said, "Oh, great, another random yo-yo on that just has a video." So whatever you come with, because America's never cared about facts. You can put a fact in their face, and the Dunning-Kruger effect is always going to take place. So I'm saying this to say that. And then something that the mother said that plucked my nerve. She said, "Oh, they're just trying to get clout and hurt." And then the other ones, she said, "They just want to hurt my kids." Again, not understanding your children are savage bullies. But it is that divine right that they felt like they could go over there, because, like the lounge just pointed out, and not only did they not say, why did he put his hands on Karmelo, the thing that I want people to focus on is, why didn't he walk away? Why didn't Hunter and Austin walk away? Everybody wants us to walk away. Why didn't they just simply walk past? And I land on that.
I absolutely agree. That's what everyone wants to say. Why didn't Karmelo just leave? Because he didn't have to. That's why. Okay, that's why at track meets the kids walk around and they go under other people's tents. And also he was invited there. So who is Austin to tell him to leave? Who is Hunter to tell him to leave? If they were so pressed, they should have gone and gotten a coach. And that's just what it is. There's no way around it. That's the facts. Now I'm gonna go to this video. Okay, I'm going to go to this video that was sent to me last night by Blessed the Chosen, because the lounge and Obasi, you all weren't on here, so I'm not sure if you've seen this video, but
Okay.
go to it. Before we go to that video, let's go to this one with the lady outside of the courthouse. I believe her name is My True Crime Obsession or My True Crime Addiction. I was actually on a panel with her a few nights ago, and some of the other people who look like her were going in on her, calling her BITCHs. There was one guy that, to me, I feel like he's dangerous, because he was saying that he was going to take her down no matter what.
Wow.
Because she was agreeing with Karmelo's side. Yes, absolutely. These people have so much hate in their hearts. You cannot reason with them. You cannot use logic with them, because they're illogical, nonsensical, and obtuse. That's what these racist people are. The ones pushing this narrative, and who keep trying to control the narrative. And then they want to act as though Jeff Metcalf isn't racist after we all heard the rat, watermelon felon, saying that all of us Black people should be glad that they gave us civil rights, that we should be glad they freed us from slavery, but were they not the same ones who enslaved our ancestors? Like, it's all crazy. But let's go to the clip.
Who? That's how this child came to be, is because his kids are bullies and want to see. And what did he do? He turned around and sat and did it to all of us inside the courtroom and laughed about it.
Oh my God.
I think his kids learn to be bullies now. According to their environment. That's all I'm going to say.
Wow.
Tell the truth, shame the devil. What you say?
Wow.
That family bullied her.
But they just rested the case, you said. Oh, damn. I wonder if they seen.
Both sides. She said both sides have rested. The jury is there. The jury is doing their charge. Will do their charges today, but the closing statements will not happen until tomorrow. That means they go to the hotel.
Oh my God! So Thursday. No, wait. Tomorrow's Tuesday.
Yeah.
So Wednesday.
However long the jury takes.
Yeah, until because they have to deliberate with each other.
Okay, now with that all being said, she clearly said that the father was bullying them in the courtroom. Okay, so let's go to this next clip. Now, this is the video that we saw last night.
Once again, it's on. Hey, y'all get in the building, get in the building, get in the building. Before I show this video, man, I got something to say real quick. Don't say this, and don't say to go off on a couple of these YouTubers, right? I tried to send Ticket TV this video. Nigga too dumb, too stubborn to try to listen to anybody else. They keep showing that same old dumbass shit. Him, Lakeisha, keep showing the same old dumbass shit. And the girl, Tony Talks, vested up. They dumb as hell, man. See, I'm trying to send them this video because their platform is bigger than mine. But I'm finna show y'all the stab and the collapse of Austin Metcalf. Pay attention. This right here is not Austin. This is Austin. This is Melo between here, and Hunter is over here. That's why Hunter did not see the stab, because the stab happened over here. All right? When these boys push Melo this way, they're going to pull him back this way. One of their arms going to slip and hit Austin. Austin is going to walk up here, turn around with his hand on his chest, and he's going to collapse. Now, don't y'all pay attention to none of this. Pay attention to this right here, to him right here, because this is Austin. Watch, you're going to see him go up here. He's going to turn around and fall. Once you see Melo up here, watch Austin. He's going to step up, turn around with his hand on his chest, and he's going to fall. Now, y'all watch this. They're attacking Melo. They'll go to push. They'll go to stab. Now, watch Austin. Austin step up, turn around with his hand on his chest, and he fall. Y'all just see him fall? Y'all just see him fall? Let's watch it again. They go to fight. They go to push, the pull, the stab. Now watch Austin step up. He's turning around with his hand on his chest, and he collapsed. Did y'all just see that? Man, these YouTubers with these big platforms just think they all that and static. They started getting clicks and views off bullshit ass videos, breakdowns. What they break it down is nothing. They keep showing y'all the same thing. Y'all want the truth. This is the truth right here. I believe one of these boys is Eddie. That's right here. Now, y'all watch it again. Y'all watch Austin right here again. See, they want y'all to think Austin is the one with that Melo, so that'll give reason Melo to stab him, because they don't want y'all to know that his friend stabbed him by mistake. Now, let's play it again. Don't even pay attention to this. Pay attention to Austin. The push, the pull, the stab. Now watch Austin, y'all. Watch Austin. He step up, he turn around with his hand on his chest, and he falls. Melo go to running. They go to running to, all of them go to running to the garbage can. Y'all see it? They all go to run to the garbage can. See, one thing about black folks, you can't tell them nothing. Hold on, this come back up. It's coming back up. I'm using somebody else's video. It's coming back up. I'm using someone else's content right here. All right, here you go right here. Here come the fight, the push. They're going to try to pull Melo back. One of their arms slipped and hit Austin. Austin going to walk up here, turn around, and collapse. Let's go. The attack on Melo. They go to stab right there. Watch Austin. He step up, he turns around, arm on his chest, and he fell. Can't make this up. You can't make this up. I'm gonna show it one more time. They attacking, the push, the pull, the stab. Austin steps up, hand on his chest, he turned around, and he falls. All these dumbass YouTubers up there keep showing paperwork, keep talking about nonsense, because they can't see. They too dumb and too stubborn to listen to anybody else. Because they think because they got a big platform that they the shit. They ain't the shit.
Okay, now what do you all think about that? I'm gonna be honest, I couldn't see the stab. I could see Austin when it looked like he grabbed his chest and fell. That's all I could really see. I saw somebody's arm go up. That could have been the stab. It looked like somebody's arm swung in Austin's direction. But I couldn't see anything in their hand or anything like that. It's not clear enough. But that does sound plausible, especially since they said that Eddie, after it happened, went chasing after Karmelo, saying, I'm going to kill you. You killed my brother. Now, if Eddie was the one who actually did it, that would make sense. But Karmelo said to the officers, I'm alleged. What do y'all think he meant when he said, he said, I'm not alleged, I did it. Now, does anyone care to give your thoughts on that? The Lounge, Obasi? What do y'all think is the reason why Karmelo would say that? What do y'all think is the reason why Karmelo would say that?
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. When the video where it says like he's alleged. When the video where it says like he's alleged. I heard people say that, but I didn't see the video. But maybe he's saying like, I think personally when he says I'm alleged, maybe he's the one that they were looking for. But I don't know with this situation, and I'm only saying this because I seen the little boy throwing something away. Hold on, you guys. Okay. I only seen a boy throwing something away in the trash can. So I don't know if it was even Karmelo who possibly did this. I don't know. My mind is just kind of all over the place with this. But when he said, the alleged or whatever he was saying, whatever they said, he said just that he was the one that was running and he was the one that allegedly possibly could have did it. But I don't know. I mean, it's a lot going on with this and what was said, what Karmelo said. So that's kind of where I stand with that. It's a lot going on.
Okay, what do you think, Obasi?
I'm sorry.
And then I'll give my thoughts last.
I think that everything happens.
I'm gonna go out and come back in because my phone, I'm not sure what's going on with my background, but let me go out and come back in, you guys.
It stopped now. It sounded like it was echoing for a second, but it stopped. Okay, go ahead, Obasi. I'm sorry.
I think that everything happened so fast. I think that he was shook. I think that he was terrified. I don't think that he was thinking in a clear moment when he gave that statement. I think that
that can be. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say that could be considered what they call an excited utterance.
Exactly.
Under the law, when something traumatic happens, people may blurt out things, but also, hold on, let me add the Lounge back. Oh, she's already back. Okay. Yeah, that could have been an excited utterance in my opinion, but also the fact that, oh, I see why you were echoing. You're on here twice. The Lounge. Okay, now she's going out. Okay, now let me add her back. Okay, that's better. Okay, so yeah, I think that possibly there were two knives. That's what I think. I agree. There were two knives because what did they go and throw in the trash? I think they went and threw the other knife in the trash and then later came back and got it. That's just what I think. Now, I could be wrong, but they threw something. There was something that they wanted to hide. Okay.
I agree.
I remember that they said, like I told you guys, they said initially, Quanell X said it, that the children at that school, the witnesses told him that Karmelo used the tool that they used to put up the tent.
Also,
they say, go ahead, beloved.
Also, there was an elderly white woman that gave a testimony.
Yeah.
And I also shared that video on my TikTok. The elderly white woman said, she wanted to make sure Karmelo got justice because this was nonsense. And notice what she says in her video. He didn't stab him. She said that he fell on the knife. And then whoever was with her also that saw the video said, this is key, that it wasn't a knife. It was something to sharpen the cleats with or something like that. See,
to tighten the cleats and put up the tents.
That's what they said. See, what we allowed because we criminalize our children And notice, a brother pointed out to me last night. He said, "Bro, you ever notice that they're using Karmelo being 19 now as if he's an adult, but they're keeping Austin at 17, like when they were both the same age at the time of it." So what we're not allowing is to say that these were both teenagers. So when Karmelo gave that statement, it's like I said, maybe a lot had happened. You're not in your clear mind. He's scared. He don't know. He's running. But see, when they showed him running, these racist white folks said, "Oh, see, he's admitting guilt." No, they were chasing him. So he's trying to get to a level of safety.
Wow. Yeah,
I agree. Now hold on. True Blessing says, "Queen, did you hear about that there are 3 more attorneys who want to join the dream team?" No, I didn't, beloved, and thank you for that information. But here's what I think. I don't think they should allow anyone else to join, because where were these lawyers at first?
Yep,
And we don't know who you can trust and who you can't, because supposedly there are people that have infiltrated, like Charleston White, pretending to be on the side of the Anthonys, and then they were not. And also, it has been alleged that Tiffany Billions, who acts like she's such an advocate, collecting money and everything for the family, but it's been said that she is actually working with Sarah Fields, who we know has been spreading lies and lied, and even said she saw the video at the school and her name's was on the list, but it said no, as if to say she did not see it. So it's basically saying that those 2 people work together, okay, to infiltrate Charleston White and Tiffany Billions. So I don't know about these attorneys. Like I said, if they really wanted to help and had good intentions, why were they silent until now? Now that they know he's got a team, now they want to join, like, please. And even if they're sincere, but they just were afraid to come out at first or whatever, and now they feel more comfortable. No, we don't need them. I'm sorry, they need to sit down somewhere.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree. I totally agree. And Queen, I don't know if I told you, I went to the Collins courthouse where Karmelo had his case at in Collins County courthouse or whatever, the week before, the Saturday before last. And I met with the NAACP there. And they had a small, like a conference, I guess, like a meeting, or whatever you want to call it. But they did tell me that they couldn't tell me exactly what was going on behind the closed, behind the scene, behind closed doors, which respectfully so I understand. But they did say that there was things going on behind the scenes that were like, that the Anthonys were getting help. And then we find out what the day before yesterday that, they had this dream team. But in the meeting, there was a lady, an older black lady, and it kind of hurt me to my heart when she said this, but she works there in Collin County school district, I believe in Collin County. But she said that there's these the staff at the school. She's a teacher. She had a black student that was kind of like, I guess, like, how kids are, like they hang on you. It seemed like they were like elementary, I believe. But it was a little, I think, black boy or black girl that was like kind of hanging on her, like, and there was a white kid that came up and punched the black kid like in the stomach. And it was so heart-wrenching to hear this. And she said that the white staff didn't do nothing, acted like it never even happened. And she said these students, these black students here, are being called the N-word in the schools there. So it came to me like, this is a huge problem. And not only when it comes to the kids bullying other kids, like look at Austin and Hunter, when they're being, bullying other kids, where is the consequences for that? Where is the, you're going to be put on, what's it called? Suspension or whatever. But even though they said that they were suspended, I guess from the game, they shouldn't have been there. But where is the consequences for their behavior in school? So it just goes to show how bad the racism is there in Collin County. White staff is like turning their heads when they see, things going on with other black kids. They turn their head and act like it never happened. But I'm gonna send you that little that clip.
Let me say this. Okay, thank you. Let me say this. Yeah, there is a racial problem down there with the students, because I did research on all of this, all of the people involved. That's how I knew about the judge and the judge's father with that case in 2008 with Suzanne Wooten, how they framed her and set her up for 9 felonies, and she was actually convicted, but it was overturned upon appeal. also how the DA and his assistant DA had allegations of sexual harassment, but also that the schools in Collin County are full of racism. And it has been talked about because they say even though the Black students only make up 11% of the student population, 35% of the suspensions for on-campus behavior are the Black children, and that the white children rarely get consequences. And also it came to such a boiling point that it was in 2021 or 2022 that they had to send send people down there to try to investigate it, to see what's going on, and to get them to do something about it.
Wow.
It's like the lounge just said and gave that example of those children, and gave that example of that little kid going up to hit that little Black kid. And I guarantee you that behavior right there, that was Austin and Hunter when they were whatever age that was.
Yep.
And I'm going to pivot a bit and go to somewhere else, but I'm still going to stay on topic. Even when I'm watching sports today and I'm watching Caitlin Clark, the same pattern and the same behavior patterns are all around. Like, okay, they just had an incident where they suspended a basketball player, Alyssa Thomas, who she has a reputation. She was suspended because of her reputation of being a rough player. Now, the physicality is in the game, right? But what it is that narrative control. So there was a on-ball play, and I always say that images are advertisements for the mind. So what they want to do, just like they wanted to do with why didn't Karmelo get up and walk away? What they did was when they were having an on-ball play, and her hand slips and goes into Caitlin's neck. This is the court Karen behavior, and now and now all hell is breaking loose, and they want you to focus on the image that they put up is her fist in her throat as if it's Black woman aggression. You can't hear me?
I think it's something going on with her phone because I can hear you just fine. Hey, Jean, beloved.
Okay,
Jean just joined us.
Oh, hi, Jean.
Well, go ahead.
How you doing? And that's what it is.
Can y'all hear Obasi?
Yes, we can hear fine, beloved. It may be something wrong with your phone or something because we can hear it.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. Okay, let me put on mute.
And what they do, and using that image of aggression, they focus on that, and they don't get off of that, and they build these narratives of aggressive Black people. But and also we have to talk about the parents of teaching racism. The Black parents, we have to do a better job of teaching what's going on in this world, because when you're in these PWIs, there was a series that they put on Amazon Prime called Them, and that series right there, it captures what happens when you're in proximity of these people. And this is just a 10-day event, but more specifically, it showed what happened when we sent our children to these PWIs with no understanding of what's going on.
Okay, now let me say this. As to what I was just telling you all about the racism at the school, so I just pulled up my receipts that I used last time for my research. Okay, there are documented incidents of racism and racial tension against Black kids in Frisco, Texas. While many families find the fast-growing affluent suburb to be welcoming and diverse, reports indicate that Black students face specific challenges, including racial bullying, slurs, and disproportionate school discipline. Now, the Texas Education Agency, known as TEA, previously flagged the Frisco Independent School District, FISD, for disproportionately suspending Black students, particularly Black male students, in special education programs at higher rates than white students. Now, there's bullying and slurs. Reports of racial harassment, including the use of racial slurs against Black students during middle school and high school sporting events and on campus. These things have sparked local community conversations and demands for cultural change. Now, the broader racial divisions. The city has experienced shifting demographics and growing pains, with recent high-profile legal cases involving high schoolers further highlighting the area's ongoing ethnic and racial divisions. In response to TEA or T, findings and parental complaints, Frisco ISD has worked to revise disciplinary practices, moving away from exclusionary suspensions toward behavior management. Now, local and regional groups, including chapters of the NAACP and community organizers, remain active in advocating for fair treatment, equity, and training, and inclusive policies within the school district. Organizations host ongoing local gatherings and wellness events to support Black families in the broader North Dallas and Collin County area. So I said all that to say this. Gene, you just tuned in. So what we were talking about, hold on, how did he get kicked off? Okay, sorry about that, Gene. You must have got kicked off. But what I was saying is, Gene,
no, I'm right here. I'm here.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you had kicked off the screen. I just added you back up. Okay, so now, before you arrived, Gene, we were talking about how the Black kids in Frisco, the lounge was saying that there was an incident where a Black child was called a racial slur, and the white staff did nothing about it. They pretty much swept it under the rug. So I was just making a point to say that I had actually researched the racial disparity in Frisco in general, and also in the school districts. And so that's what I found. I did that a few weeks ago. And so, like, there is a disproportionate amount of racism there. It has been told to me by people in Frisco that some of the Black families have taken their kids out of the FISD and moved away due to harassment, bullying, racial things, and all of that. And also, some people supposedly moved after the Karmelo Anthony incident because they were being threatened. So they had so much bullying and racial things going on with the kids in the schools that they had to call in the T team to come down there, and as well as the NAACP and community activists had to go down there and get them to start trying to do something and implement different policies to protect the Black children against this. So my whole thing is, this is more of this should make it more clear for us to see why the students all got up there on the witness stand and lied for Hunter and Austin. Because we know they lied, because what they said in their initial statements to detectives did not match what they said on the stand. And also they were called out on the changing of stories, specifically Eddie Parra, saying he didn't even know Karmelo. Okay, so they all were just telling lies. Okay, and so it seems like the hateful people that are so mad, I don't even understand why they're still mad, because like I said, Karmelo is in prison. He got 35 years. I thought they wanted justice. They got it. So why are they mad? They must think that the case was absolutely unfair and that it possibly could be a different story or outcome when the appeal goes through. That's why I believe they're mad. Now, I'm going to go to this video of the elderly white woman that you all were just talking about. I'm going to go to that video for what she said.
Real quick, I've always said that their man is because he was supposed to be the victim. Karmelo was supposed to be the victim.
Right. That's what they always think, that we're supposed to be the ones that are the bigger person.
That child, he fell.
Yes.
He fell on him. And the knife he had the knife in his hand.
Well, it wasn't a knife.
What was it?
It was a tool that they tighten up the track cleats with.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, so he never bought a knife.
Yeah.
So that came out in the courtroom yesterday. That
it never was a knife.
You don't want to sit down?
Richard, can I have my wallet? Yes.
Yeah, because I don't want you to fall.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to fall. I'm standing. I'm not going to fall. I'm not moving. I've got my legs on.
She say my legs still. Say my legs.
My legs are, well, they don't. But if I can sit down, I'll be happy.
Yes.
But anyhow, that's what I'm here for. And I was hoping the card is not out yet.
Right. It's probably going to get out around 6 o'clock.
That's what I thought. That's what they said. And we've got another hour. And I just want to, I'm not going to. What's your name? Kathy Taylor.
Thank y'all so much. And sir, thank you so much. Very much so. We thank y'all for standing and just.
He's not. Thank you. And okay, so it was the cleat, and he had that in his hand.
Yeah, the tool is like a little tool like this, like the screwdriver.
So he was innocent completely.
Okay, so some people think she's accurate, some people think that she isn't. At the end of the day, whatever happened, I'm not sure. Like I said, I couldn't see the stab, but I did see Austin grab his chest and fall over. At least that's what it looked like to me. The bottom line is, I think that Karmelo acted in self-defense. And as far as Karmelo saying that it was me, someone had a good point. I just showed their comment on the live. I think they said that they don't think Karmelo was admitting guilt, and basically he was just saying that he was the person involved, which also could be the case. It's a matter of interpretation, and we all interpret things differently. Okay, I'm getting rid of these trolls. Okay, now with that all being said, G, what are your thoughts on the case, beloved? What do you think about this whole situation and how the people are trying to spew the narrative, that Karmelo should have just gotten up and left, but they don't feel like Austin should have just minded his own business? Like, how do you feel about that?
Well, that's classic. We always supposed to get up and leave, turn around, and walk away. That's what they think we're supposed to do. Now, I'm gonna digress real fast. Is that true that he didn't actually have a knife? I didn't know that. The guy in the video said he had something that tightens up cleats.
Well, yeah, they said that from day one. Quanell X said that in 2025, beloved. I'm going to pull that video up for those that missed it. But Quanell X said that people who were witnesses told him that it was something used to put up the tents. And people say that you use it to put up tents and to tighten the cleats. And in fact, there was also several people from Dallas and Frisco, and there was a lady who posted to social media saying that there was an initial news report from Fox 4 Dallas that where Hunter and two of his friends spoke to them as the ambulance was leaving the field, and they said that Karmelo, they didn't say his name, but they said that the guy picked up picked up the tool that me and Austin used to put up our tents after Austin punched him in the face. That's what they claim Hunter said. Now, I haven't seen that footage, but they said that it's been removed. It was removed shortly after. And I guess that's because they wanted to paint another narrative and make it look like Karmelo showed up there with a knife to look for trouble. Even though I don't know how you're looking for trouble when the trouble approaches you. If you're looking for trouble, I would think that you would be the one to confront someone, not someone confronting you, because how would you even know that was going to take place?
And to me, the knife represents exactly that, Queen. The knife represents intentionality. If it's a thing for the cleats, that to me would represent like panic. I just want to grab whatever to defend myself.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, that makes it a big difference. That changes everything about the story. Like it was just, without doubt. Yeah, they go just like you said. It goes from a particular intent to something like the spur of the moment. Like I got punched in the face, I grabbed the closest thing next to me to get this joker off me.
Right. And
yeah,
so
that's a completely different story.
Right, and here's the thing too, Gene. You do know that Karmelo has epilepsy, right?
Yeah. I read that.
Okay, and so that wasn't allowed to be entered in as evidence during the trial. The judge didn't want it entered in as if it was irrelevant, but it was not irrelevant because by the fact that he had epilepsy and what could happen when they have a seizure and what can cause or trigger a seizure, that was all very relevant because that could have been why he was further afraid and fearful.
Oh yeah, absolutely. How about your life is in jeopardy at that point? Like,
right.
That's classic self. All of that put together says, I'm trying to save my life. And trying to save your own life is self-defense in every way.
Exactly. Now, I'm going to pull up the video with Quanell X for everyone to hear, for anyone who missed it. And this was in 2025, shortly after the incident occurred. I'm going to use an overlay because I'm not sure if this is on YouTube as well, but I got it off TikTok.
Violation of school policy to come to the track meet armed with a deadly weapon?
So now,
yes or no?
Wait a minute.
Yes or no?
It was that
yes
kind of knife.
Or no?
It was that kind of knife.
Now I want you all to pay attention to how he phrased that. Was it a violation to come to a track meet with a deadly weapon? Like he's just some thug. But let's continue.
Yes or no?
It was not that kind of knife.
Well, what kind of knife was
that's the lie being told.
No.
It was not no butcher knife, no kitchen knife. It wasn't no buck knife. It wasn't that kind of knife.
What kind of knife was it?
See, I'm going to be quiet right now. It's going to come out.
Oh,
those knives that he used were the same ones they used to help put them tents up.
Okay. Was it a violation of school policy to come to the track meet armed with a deadly weapon?
So now.
Okay, so now that's what was told to him. He went on to say that that's what witnesses supposedly told him. But I'm going to go to a video that I did where I talked about why it would have been relevant for them to talk about the fact that Karmelo had epilepsy.
The judge would not allow in the fact that Karmelo had epilepsy. I guess he didn't think it was relevant. Let's get into it. It was interesting to me that the judge didn't think it was relevant, but it absolutely is. If there's a serious health issue, that is absolutely relevant and should be used for evidence in a self-defense case. And this is usually what would have been done had the court not been biased. Now, that's just my opinion. So it must legally be relevant and verified by medical documentation to establish why you reasonably fear for your life or felt you were unable to retreat safely. The court determines the admissibility of this evidence based on the following factors. The first is the subjective standard. Evidence first requires proof that you genuinely believe you were in imminent danger. A physical disability, a severe illness, or compromised state, these are all things that can explain why the person would feel that there was a perceived threat and that it was deadly, or that they did not feel they could safely escape. The next is the objective standard. The actions must also be what a reasonable person would do in the same condition. Now, if the health issue made the person more vulnerable, then the attorney could use this so that the jury would evaluate the proportionality of the defense force that the person used with their physical limitations in mind. Next is documentary and expert evidence. Now, health issues cannot just be claimed, they must be proven. You must have them authenticated by a hospital or physician records and potentially expert witness testimony as well to establish the severity of the medical condition and its direct impact on the person's perception of the threat. Now, mind you, at the end of the day, there was no expert witnesses. And that is all because Mike Howard was throwing the case, in my opinion. And the next is prior aggressor context. You see, on the flip side, the prosecution may attempt to introduce the victim's condition if they felt that those conditions contributed to a pattern of violent behavior or escalated the confrontation. Okay, please pay attention. Now, of course, the judge wouldn't allow that to be entered in, but you see, the defense should have challenged that. The defense should almost always formally challenge a judge's ruling that evidence is irrelevant to preserve the defendant's constitutional right to a fair trial, as well as to protect their options for a future appeal. You see, Mike Howard didn't raise any objections, okay? In a case of red rum, the attorney is always supposed to raise objections. Now, the only thing that he objected to was the Batson challenge, where they didn't have any witnesses, or when they struck the last three witnesses who looked like me. Okay, so please pay attention. Now, I feel
I'm going to stop right there for a second so I can read this super chat and also address a question that's in the chat. Okay, Tanya G says, Georgia Queen, guest chat, do y'all think it's possible Karmelo ran because all the others under the canopy had their knives or tools out to attack Melo all at once? I love and appreciate you, Queen. Thanks. Well, thank you, beloved, for your question and also for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Well, here's the thing. I think that at least one other person had a knife. I think there were at least two knives. I think that's what was thrown in the trash can and later retrieved by someone else. That's what I think, and I don't think that Karmelo did it. I think that Karmelo may have thought he did it because when all the melee was going on, I think that he did pick it up like Hunter initially said. I don't think it was ever in his backpack. I don't think he brought it there. We should all know that that's BS because Hunter said that Austin threw the backpack. Jeff Metcalf said that Austin threw the backpack. They said the backpack was thrown. So whether Hunter or Austin threw the backpack, they clearly said it was thrown. So if it was thrown, there's no way his hand could have been there the whole entire time, and that he could have in fact pulled out the tool, knife, or whatever they think it was out of that backpack. I just don't believe it. I think there was someone else there with a knife, and that person accidentally may have stabbed him. That's just what I think. Now, but hold on, let me address this question, this comment. Brano two times says those canopy pop up like an umbrella. You don't need a tool. Well, I don't know what track meets you've gone to or if you've ever even gone to one, but I ran track in school, and that's absolutely not true. To put those things up, first of all, you need 5 to 50-pound sandbags or gym weights to secure the legs on concrete turf. You need, and this is for grass fields, okay? But you also need a rubber mallet. You need a utility knife for quick packaging adjustments. So you absolutely do need tools, beloved. Okay, I don't know where you got that from, but that's what it says. Look it up. Okay,
Yeah,
so now
you
with
need
that
the
all being
spikes and
said,
all that.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Abasi?
No, ground spikes to hold them in the, if you in dirt, you need ground spikes for your tent.
Right.
That's what you bang them. That's what you bang them out in. The ground spikes, you bang them into the ground.
Yeah. So those things aren't just going to pop up like they said. Okay, let's continue with this video, and then we'll get back into the commentary.
That Mike Howard did that on purpose because he not only wanted to throw the trial, but I believe that he also wanted to make it so that there would not be good grounds for an appeal. So the defense must object on the record immediately after the ruling. If they do not object during the trial, higher courts will usually refuse to review the issue on appeal. Okay, now state constitutional grounds. Lawyers will argue that excluding the evidence violates the defendant's Sixth Amendment right to present a complete defense. Now, let me tell you why Karmelo Anthony likely feared for his life because of his epilepsy. Because you see, number one, stress and trauma. This can be a direct cause for seizure triggers. Okay, neurological vulnerability. The intense physical and emotional stress of an assault triggers adrenaline, hyperventilation, and extreme chemical spikes in the brain. Now, for someone with epilepsy, stress is the most common trigger for a breakthrough seizure. Please pay attention. And then there's the fact of the danger of helplessness. Now, if an altercation induces a seizure, the defendant instantly loses consciousness or motor control. Now, this leaves them entirely defenseless at the complete mercy of an aggressive attacker. Fear of being rendered unconscious and vulnerable while being assaulted is entirely reasonable. You see, because with epilepsy, violent altercations increase heart rates and disrupt breathing. If a seizure is triggered under these conditions, it significantly elevates the risk of fatal cardiac arrhythmias or severe respiratory failure. Now, a defendant aware of this reality has a justifiable fear that a physical fight could be fatal. Please pay attention. Now, there's also the compounded trauma. You see, falling to the ground during a typical convulsive seizure already carries a high risk of head injury. Now, they talk about the second hit scenario, okay? And mind you, this was more than a push. But if we want to say that there was only a push, by the fact that there was multiple people surrounding Karmelo, that would definitely have been enough for him to fear for his safety. You see, if an attacker strikes a defendant and triggers a seizure, the subsequent uncontrolled fall onto a hard surface can cause catastrophic skull fractures or even brain hemorrhages. A physical blow that might only cause a bruise on a healthy person could cause permanent neurological damage or even death on an epileptic individual. Please pay attention. So for those that want to say that you don't get to poke someone for a push, it was a lot more than a push from the footage that we saw. But even if it was a push, you don't put your hands on someone else. And if you do, and there's a group of people with you, that person likely would feel that there's going to be more than a push coming next, and that the people with you are likely going to help, which falls under the Texas doctrine of multiple assailants. And under that, if you feel that multiple people are going to attack you and one of them has already put hands on you, you absolutely have a right to defend yourself, even with deadly force. Okay, please pay attention. I'm sorry. When I was talking about the Batson challenge, I said that they struck the 3 witnesses who look like me, but I meant the jurors, the prospective jurors who look like me. Now, the fact that Mike Howard did not challenge the judge on entering in as evidence the fact that Karmelo had a serious health issue that could have caused him to definitely fear for his life and safety, that is all going to go along in the appeals process under inadequate counsel, okay? Because it's obvious he didn't do his job. All right, so he's definitely going to get that appeal, and I do believe that the case will absolutely be overturned, or at the very least, he'll get a new trial. And whether you think that Karmelo Anthony is guilty or not, I believe that he's innocent and that it was not red rum and that it absolutely was self-defense. But even if you think that he's guilty, that doesn't really matter what you think. You see, because the trial was absolutely unfair. There's mountains of evidence to show this. And guilty people have absolutely walked free simply because of an unfair trial. Okay, please pay attention. But Karmelo was acting in self-defense, so he wasn't guilty.
Okay, so with that all being said, it doesn't matter if he's guilty or not. If you have an unfair trial, you could absolutely walk free, okay, for those that think he was guilty, which I don't. Now, Mark Denson says he shouldn't have been playing football then because he had epilepsy and he could have a head injury. Is that what you're saying? Well, see, here's the thing. Had the judge allowed that evidence of his epilepsy to be entered in as evidence, I'm sure that the prosecution would have countered with your same talking points. But here's the thing, okay, because I keep receipts. You see, yes, you can absolutely play football with epilepsy. Medical guidelines and organizations like the Epilepsy Foundation generally clear people with well-controlled seizures to play contact sports. Many high-level athletes, including NFL quarterbacks such as Justin Fields, in case you missed it, and professional linebackers like Leon Legge, okay, they are, it's Legge, is that how you pronounce it? I'm not sure, never heard of him, but they have successfully competed with the condition. Okay, so that's just the bottom line. You can absolutely play football. Okay, so if the prosecution had tried to counter like you did, that's what the defense could have come back with, but they didn't because it wasn't allowed in. Okay, your neurologist or doctor must assess your specific seizure type, frequency, and medication. Okay, if you've had a recent seizure, your doctor will likely advise a temporary resting period or restricting full contact activities until the brain has had time to stabilize. And if you wear the proper gear, always ensure that you have a properly fitted helmet and necessary padding when it's which is standard for all players, but for vital head protection. So your head is protected when you're playing football. The main thing that is dangerous is if you suffer any sort of head trauma from a fall or any sort of contact. Okay, if you get into a fight, especially if you're jumped by 4 big people that are almost all 4 of them are almost twice your size. Now, people want to say, oh, he should have fought back, but they wouldn't have fought back themselves if there were that many people. That's what they wouldn't have done. At the end of the day, I don't believe them when they say that because people have absolutely been beaten to death. Okay? People have been beaten to death. All right. So with that being said, Jean, I'll let you share your thoughts and then we'll go to the lounge and then to Abasi and then back to me. And you can bring up any points of the case that you want to. You don't have to go by what I just finished talking about unless you want to, or you can just bring up any other valid points you would like to make, beloved.
You actually hit all the valid points. Like anything I would say would be redundant at this point. Like everything about it was wrong. If that would have been 2 white kids going at it, this would have been a totally different thing. If that would have been 2 black kids, this would have been a totally different thing. Like they just doing what they do, being hateful.
Exactly. Now, Mark Denson says he didn't get jumped. Well, Mark Denson, that's your opinion, beloved. And it really doesn't matter if he got jumped or not. That's what you're missing. That's not even the point anymore. That's totally irrelevant. It doesn't matter if he's guilty or innocent. It doesn't matter if he got jumped. The appeal process is because it was an unfair trial. If your defense attorney doesn't make any objections, specifically doesn't call any expert witnesses, doesn't allow evidence to be introduced, exculpatory evidence, okay? The knife or the tool that was used in the incident wasn't even brought in to the court. So these are all reasons, okay? Specifically ineffective counsel. So, and if you have an unfair trial, this country, our laws and many other countries, but specifically this one, due process and a fair trial is more important and actually trumps guilt or innocence. Okay, you can look that up, beloved. Okay, I went to school for criminal justice, so I know what I'm talking about, but you can look it up. Now let's continue. Do you have anything? Were you done, Jean? You can continue, beloved, and then Joy, the lounge, and then Obasi.
I can barely hear. I'm trying to get my volume up. I could barely hear you.
Okay, maybe I need to talk louder. Okay, I
No,
was
no,
just
no.
saying
It's
that if
something
you,
with my phone.
oh, okay, okay. While you work on that, we'll let the lounge go ahead, and then we'll come
Okay.
back to you.
Okay, can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I can't hear some of you guys, but I just wanted to bring out the point. Like I said, the main thing with this story is that Austin assaulted Carmelo first. If Austin didn't push Carmelo, maybe we wouldn't be where we are today. So that's a big thing for me. And then also, if you guys look at the knife that was, or the tool that was in the evidence, there's no blood on that tool. So I'm like, how is this knife was the one that was used? I believe that that boy, whoever it was that was throwing something in the trash, I think that was the actual knife that was used to take Austin out. Then Jeff, I feel like he was going on his a racist rant and not I'm mourning my son rant. He was talking bad about Carmelo's mother, calling her a drunk bee and all this other thing, when he sounded like he was drunk on what's her name, Nancy Grace, the
Nancy
coon
Grace.
stole, the coon that stole Christmas. Yeah, she yeah, when he was on Nancy Grace, he was like going off. I think it was Nancy Grace where he called, I think one of the platforms he went on, he called Carmelo's mother a black drunk, black drunk bee or whatever. But if you are mourning, what is being a black drunk have to do with anything? Because it looks like you were drunk when you were doing that interview. But also, these boys, they have terrible behavior, they're bullies, and none of that was really addressed at the school with the staff and the parents. Everything that those boys were doing, I feel like people were like pumping it up, like, oh, he's a bully, okay, we scared, like the kids, oh, we scared of these boys, we scared, like nobody really addressed them being bullies, nobody held them accountable, they didn't have to pay any kind of consequences for their behavior. So I feel like this too, with for me personally, I feel like Jeff and the mother, this is my thoughts, I believe that they taught them, racism. And sometimes, when parents teach their kids something and they think they're big and bad, sometimes you go through things and it won't be through you, it will be through your children that you will suffer these consequences for your behaviors, point blank and period. And I mean that by saying, like, Jeff was teaching them how to be racist, telling them that they're white, we're better than all the other races. You could tell people what to do. Any black people, you could just tell them what to do. You could crash out on them. And then next thing you know, now he's no longer here. So sometimes people have to be careful on what they teach their kids, because these things like this can happen. And it didn't have to happen with somebody actually doing something to Jeff himself while he's teaching his boys how to be racist, but it happened through his child. So that's all I have to say, because there's like so much with this story, but I think that's it for me.
Okay, thank you, beloved, for that. And Jean, back to you. And then
Oh yeah,
Obasi.
yeah. His
You're
dad
welcome.
definitely taught him that. His dad is fucking horrendous. That he's horrible, horrible person, and he let everybody know he's horrible. You could see where his son got it from. Like where I'm from Pennsylvania, right? In Pennsylvania, if you walk over to a person and you put your hands on them, whatever you get after that is what you get. And you don't even have to do anything. If people say, yeah, he attacked him and then he did this, you're justified. All you got to do is be scared. I don't even see how this is a case. Like once you put your hands on me, whatever you get is what you get. Sadly, that's what he got. But that's what he wanted. Like he got what his hand called for.
Right. And it's so crazy because they'll say that this was not self-defense, but what Case and Allison did was, and what Daniel Penny did was, and George Zimmerman, Rick Chow, and Derek Chauvin, and the list goes on and on.
Yeah,
Okay, well, they
all
can
that
say Derek Jones
self-defense
is
because they weren't dark
right.
skinned. That is
Right,
flat like that.
exactly.
Everything because they're dark skinned.
Yeah,
That's
that's what
the
we
only
know.
reason this is even a thing. It is
I
not
have to
even
absolutely
anything else
agree.
to it. A black kid had the audacity not to go, yes, sir, boss, I was gonna move away and I was gonna let you beat on me. He had the audacity not to allow that to happen. And here we go, and they gave him 35 years.
Exactly. Now, let me say this. Reseller Nurse says, I'm a first-time listener and now new follower. Keep speaking up for our brother. Yes. Thank you, beloved, for your kind words. I appreciate you. And also thank you for your contribution to the channel. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, Illy says twins were Biff from Back to the Future. Thank you for that, beloved. Thank you. That's a good one. And thank you for your contribution to the channel. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Okay, now I'm going to let Obasi go, but someone sent me an email. I think it was Chris B. Yeah, Chris B sent me an email from the website, Collin County website with Karmelo's pictures or whatnot. So I'll pull this up and see what this is all about while you go ahead and give your thoughts, Obasi.
You know what agitates me? It's the Negro like Mark that were in your comments. And he says, well, he shouldn't have been playing football. Then he moves the goalpost for something else. And this isn't why racism stands, but they are the type of black people that get in these circles, and they are the Stephen A. Smith, they are the Jason Whitlocks, and no matter what happens, their job is to ignore everything. Now, we've set up here, we've talked, and that person sounds just like those parents on that live that you showed that omit or overlook all the white behavior and say, well, he shouldn't have been playing football. Well, you know, they didn't jump him. They didn't jump him. Like, and this is the dangers of dealing with our own.
Right,
Because
and let's make sure, hold on, Obasi, let's make sure we don't call them the C word. If we refer to them, they're raccoons.
Okay, that's what I
Just
always say anyway. That's what I always say anyway.
Okay.
Or tap dancers, because they love massive music.
Exactly.
Right, and that is what agitates me. Because they think that the more that they use these talking points, and they think that the more they shuck and jive, that it's going to buy them something. And as I always tell them, you got two choices when you those type of Negroes. You either shine their boots or get it under, or be under their boot. There's no other option for you.
That's right. And sooner than later, they always get their ninja wake-up call too. That's what they don't realize. And I don't see how they don't understand that when they see that happen time and time again to other people who act like them. But they want a closeness, they want to be in close proximity to whiteness. Because here's my thing. Even if I felt like Karmelo was guilty and I felt like he shouldn't have done it or whatever, I would just be silent. And here's why. Because I would not give any credence to someone like Jeff Metcalf, who not only called Karmelo a watermelon felon, letting us know how racist he is, but he went on further to disparage other black people collectively who had absolutely nothing to do with it. So that lets us know he's a racist. And as a black person, what I will never do is give any credence at all, say anything in agreement with a person who is racist. I would rather just be silent and keep my mouth shut. But for the people who look like me, who sit there and they ignore the fact that this man said all of these things and they want to send him well wishes and act like he's so grief stricken and that's the reason, that's his excuse for being racist. Grief does not equate to racism.
Not at
You are
all.
a grieving parent. I would think that you would be so enthralled in your sorrow and despair that you would not even have it in your heart to be thinking about hatred and being hateful. That you would not even fathom going around on a whole press tour as if you're Beyonce, like somebody said last night. Okay, you're going around doing a whole tour, constantly talking about it. But the reason he's doing so is to keep control of the narrative. You see, they control the narrative from day one. Okay, the Fox 4 Dallas footage that was allegedly pulled down, I believe that footage was absolutely out there. There were also allegedly cell phone videos from the kids that were there. Those were supposedly pulled down, but I do know that the police said they threatened that if anyone were to post that footage, they would go to jail. They put everyone under a gag order. This is how you know they had so much to hide. If they had nothing to hide and felt Karmelo was so 100% guilty, they would have released that original footage from day one. That's what they would have done. And the fact that they didn't lets me know, should let us all know that they had everything to hide. And that's just the fact of the matter. There were things that they did not want out there because they wanted to control the narrative. Go ahead, beloved.
And let's not forget that piece of crap, Jake Lang, and what he said that if the jurors basically didn't convict him, that he would take matters into his own hands. So how are you a supposedly black person? These are these off-black people, and you can hear all of that. Now I know why, but how is it that you can hear all of that and you still get up here and make those comments?
And he also said that he was going to put a bullet in Carmelo's head. Said that it needs to be strung up outside of the courthouse.
Absolutely.
And you know they're famous for that. Because if we look at that video from that country singer that talking about tried in a small town, that video was actually filmed at a courthouse where a black man was lynched from one of the windows. So I'm just saying this is some of the things that these hateful people say, talking about lynching our people. And then let's not even act like days after the verdict and sentencing, there was a black woman, Todia Nicole Miller, who was found hanging from a tree. I think that absolutely had something to do with this, but then they don't even talk about that in the news media. But then here comes this white woman talking about she was jumped by 3 black women, and as they were beating her, or she says before they started fighting her, they told her, oh, we're going to look for the smallest white woman. And then as they were beating her, they were yelling, free Karmelo. I don't believe that. Now, she may have gotten into a fight with them, but I don't think they were saying anything about Karmelo. I think that's all lies and BS, just like Karens have a history and a pattern of lying on black people for centuries, okay? For decades, since slavery, during Jim Crow and all of that, they've always lied on black people. So with that all been said, I take that with a grain of salt. Now, the only reason I think that maybe she was possibly beaten up is because she had the little neck brace and all that or whatever. For all I know, she could have had her friend that she claims was with her put oranges in a pillowcase and beat her just to make it look good. I don't know. All I know is these people are known for painting narratives, telling lies, and racist people who want to start race wars and just keep up discord. They will do anything to get their point across. And let me say one more thing before I pass it on. There is a white guy that I showed his video the other day, and he is on TikTok, and he absolutely offered that if any of the prisoners, the first one to put hands on Karmelo to bring harm upon him, they would put money on their books. Now, why aren't they talking about that? Why isn't Megyn Kelly talking about that?
Exactly.
Okay, no one wants to address that. Why isn't Fox News doing an interview about that? Why aren't they talking and reporting that? But they want to point to everything that they think can possibly make black people look like we're the savages, we're the animals, we're the ones who are always, unchecked, and we're the ones going around here starting all of this. Let me say this. There's never been a history of white people being hung from trees, okay? There's never been a history of black people having hate groups. We don't have the Klan. We don't have neo-Nazis. We don't have white nationalists. We don't have Proud Boys. We don't have any of those things, okay, where we just go around in groups attacking and harassing black folk. You don't see any black people walking around with guns going up to white people and calling them racial slurs. You don't see any of us doing that. You would never see any of us go to the trial of a police officer who's white and killed some black person unarmed, or some racist person like Susan Lorenz when she shot a G.K. Owens through the door just for simply knocking on it. You don't see us, or like the white man who shot Ralph Yarrow, the 16-year-old black boy who accidentally went to the wrong door and he shot him in the head. You don't ever see us getting on the news. You don't see the parents of these people getting on the news and spewing vitriol and hatred at all white people because of what one white person did. You see, because we don't paint all white people as the same collectively, but every time something happens, the racist people, the MAGA types, they want to paint all of us with one brush and categorize all of us as if we're all savages and thugs. That's why Jeff Metcalf got up there on that 3.5-hour rant, okay, on Sarah Field's podcast, and said all those hateful, wicked, nefarious things about all black people, because that's how he feels. That's what's in his heart. He has a sense of entitlement. And then he got up there and lied, talking about he's Native American. Yeah, well, he might be a $5 Indian, but he's far from a Native American. I'll land on that.
Wow.
That's right.
This is crazy. And I don't believe for one moment
that girl that allegedly got beat up in Texas. When I looked at that picture, it looked like they made makeup and did her face just so it can look like she was beat up. That's just my opinion. I don't
Probably
believe that
did.
girl was beat up. I don't believe that for one moment, because every time that black people get a win, they get mad and they get upset. And I'm not saying, because there's racists in all communities. They got the Stephen A. Smiths, they got Anton Daniels, they got all different races in the racist group. But I do believe that once we have this, like Carmelo has a, basically, to me, I'm gonna say it's a win with Ben Crump and all the dream team attorneys that he has coming out and helping him. So they don't like that. So what better is it to make up a lie to make it look like black people are the problem? But that's all I have.
Exactly.
Because see what they always want to project is this is a threat to society, so he shouldn't be let out because look at how his people are behaving. It reminds me of like right when Dookie Dunny got elected the first a few years ago, about a year, 2024. And remember when they had those white girls that they were creating these narratives saying that there's a rumor that black women are going to jump, quote unquote, Southern white women. And remember how they were on the net and they were getting themselves all riled up, showing their ammunition. See, they always need these things to work themselves in a tizzy. They always need something to fight so they can validate their rage. It's another part of what they're doing by saying they were yelling "Free Carmelo." That didn't happen.
I don't believe that either. I believe she got whipped. I believe she got whipped. And I believe she got whipped because she said something that she wasn't supposed to say. Because they classic with that. Them jokers say all types of crazy. And somebody put foot in her head. And then she said, "Oh, it was about Carmelo Anthony." No, it wasn't. You said the wrong thing.
And somebody in the comments said Charleston White was paid by them folks too. And I've been on him for the longest as an AOC, as an agent of chaos and an agent of confusion. And this is why we have to do a better job as black males to show clear black masculinity and clear sanity for black males or black because we're at the point where truth is not winning with black men. It's popularity and buffoonery. And because such our people have such a low racial IQ or low racial self-worth, and they're like those ones that were just in the comments saying that he shouldn't have been playing football. They look at us through the same lens as white supremacists. So they're always the ones that saying, "Oh, Charleston White is telling the truth." No, he's not. He'll say a right thing or two here and there, but he's not telling the truth. If you really have a real racial understanding and racial clarity, you know nothing he's saying is true. You know that these are side effects of racism, white supremacy.
Yep, exactly. And let me say this too, like kind of to your point. People don't understand, like these people, the Charleston White, the Stephen A. Smith, the Anton Daniels, if they had children that got stopped by the police and they weren't abiding by a white policeman's authority or whatever you want to say, and they got pow or whatever, they still going to be viewed as a black person. So no matter how long and whatever their situation is, whether they're getting paid or not, I'm just saying they're still going to be point blank at the end of the day. They're going to still be looked at as a black person. They're not going to always be accepted into that white arena. So I don't understand how they could even be saying half the stuff that they say out of their mouth about Carmelo and black people and this, that, and the third. Because something happen to their children, let it happen to them. If they're being pulled over by the police or whatever, you're still going to be looked at as a black person at the end of the day. So it really kills me that these black people of their kind will sit there and act like everything, it's all the black people are wrong, all this, all that. But like I said, until they experience and they get a taste and a dose of that type of medicine, I bet you their thoughts and their words will also definitely change. But until something like that happens, they're going to continue to be a part of the coonocracy.
Yeah, well, that's my thing, though. That's my thing. Like I said, they're going to get their ninja wake up call. And let me just say something, too. Carmelo is a victim. The reason this episode is called Southern Fried Justice is because that's a colloquial phrase that is used to describe like these good old boy systems and networks that operate and they engage in small town politics. Okay, that's all it is. Typical good old boy network where they influence law enforcement and courtroom proceedings. And we know that they have a history of this in Frisco because, like I said, in 2008, the setup job that they did on a whole white woman who was a judge and 9 felony convictions they got her convicted of. They successfully did this, and it was Judge John Roach Jr. It was his father, John Roach Sr., who was the DA at the time. Even Governor Greg Abbott was involved because she sued him as well in her lawsuit after she was her case was overturned upon appeal. So if they can do this to a prominent white woman of a high-ranking position, they can absolutely do it to a black teenager who was the odd man out in that town. He was the only black person under that tent. And all of those people that testified, it should have been something else brought up at this trial, that all the people who testified, even the ones for the defense, those were all friends and teammates, one of the two, and in most cases both, of Austin and Hunter. And they have to live in that town. And I'm quite sure that if we can see the hatred and vitriol and the threats of death that have been inflicted upon people like Secret Service Sam. By the way, I forgot to tell you all, me and Sam are going to do another live another time because he got called in for that shoot and he's not going to be able to make it after all. But people like Sam, other white people who are on Carmelo's side, they're receiving death threats and all kinds of hate in their DMs and everything, being doxxed online. So just think about that. These are people that these people don't even know. They're just being hateful for them for not going along with their narrative, for being what they deem as off code. So you should know that anyone who lived in Collin County, okay, specifically teenagers and their parents and families, do you really think they were going to go against the grain and say anything opposite, anything contrary to the narrative that was being painted and pushed? And then let's not forget that Jeff Metcalf invited some of the witnesses to his house in May, right after the incident, for a barbecue. Don't you think that the things were discussed there? We heard allegations of him coaching people on the stand, specifically Jose. We heard all of this from separate people, not just YouTubers, but the guy who's a journalist for Court TV even said the same thing. But none of these people who look like us, who want to jump on the Jeff Metcalf train and bandwagon, none of them seem to be speaking about any of these things. They want to gloss over all of that, okay, and just stick to that narrative because that's who they are. These are nothing more than self-loathing black people who hate themselves and hate the fact that they had to, sadly for them, be a part of the black community. They want a nearness and closeness and proximity to whiteness. So this is what they do. They shuck and jive and tap dance around and tiptoe around the tulips. And then they'll say whatever they think that wanton supremacy wants to hear them say. And I call them wanton supremacy, not white supremacists, because there's nothing superior nor supreme about them.
Exactly. And somebody put in the chat that they're coming for Willie D. I seen Willie D's live video yesterday. And they went to go try to research Willie D's background. Willie D said, yes, I do have, a background. I served my time. I did it. I sure did. And I'm here to tell you basically that I can own up to mine. But basically, can y'all own up to y'all's? See, what they're doing is they're so upset. And y'all know Willie D, y'all, he be reading them they rights. Let me shout out to Willie D, because Willie D don't be playing with them. He be giving
Shout
it
out
to
to
them,
Willie D.
unapologetically, knocking them out.
He speaks the truth.
Yes, and they are mad.
And in my opinion, Willie D is one of the least biased people. He's given his true thoughts and opinions and views. And if something looks wrong or is shady or a black person is at fault, he will call it out. Just like I will. There's many of us who will absolutely call it out. Matter of fact, I just showed a video the other day where there was a white guy holding a gun on a black guy in traffic. They had a fender bender, and the black guy's lying on the ground begging the white guy not to shoot him. But then come to find out, supposedly the black guy is the one who started it, got out of his car with a gun, pulled it on the white guy and his wife because they clipped his car. The white guy also had a gun in a backpack on the back seat, grabbed his gun, and then was able to successfully disarm the black guy. Now the black guy is down there on the ground, but he was in the wrong. You went to them with a gun first. He's lucky the white guy didn't kill him because you pulled a gun first. It would absolutely have been deemed as self-defense. So my whole thing is, it's not to paint narratives. It's not to just choose a side because someone looks like me, but what's right is right and what's wrong is wrong. And that's just what it is.
Absolutely.
You see, racist people, because we do call our own out. And I'm going to tell you the go-to move that they love to bring up, black on black crime. That is such BS and nothing but propaganda. If we want to talk about crime, we know it's all about proximity. The black people that are killed are mostly killed by black people. The white people that are killed are mostly killed by white people. That's just a fact. When the police go and do a homicide investigation, they first go visit the family, friends, and co-workers, because 9 times out of 10, it's usually, in most homicide cases, done by someone who knows them. And if you want to talk statistics, the percentages of white on white crime is 83 to 86%, whereas black on black crime is 86 to 90. So it's very close. Okay, the percentages are very close. So if they want to keep constantly talking about black on black crime, well, let's talk about white on white crime too. If you want to spew propaganda to try to demonize and villainize us, well, let's do the same. But see, they don't want to do that because it's only black people that are deemed as nefarious.
Yeah.
Now, if you bring up white on everybody else crime, that's way higher than black on Spanish crime, black on Asian crime. White on Asian crime is higher than black on Asian crime. It's higher than black on any other race crime. Like they don't care. They go at everybody and oops upside your head equally. Like those jokers are terrible. Like they hateful. They don't care about like this Carmelo Anthony thing, right? They don't care about justice. They only care about control. That's the only thing they're worrying about, that we control what's going on. How about they never want justice? They don't care about justice. They act like it's justice. Justice is blind. Justice is blind because you want it to be blind. Like you want to control everything what's going on. They try to make it seem like that's a good thing. Justice is blind. No, it ain't. We need justice to see what's going on so it could make the right decision. Like these jokers are hard, and they let you know. Yeah, they let you know straight up.
And how come in most of the cases where people have been exonerated, even from death row, it was often by an all-white jury? But you're never going to see a white person have an all-black jury. You're never going to see an all-black jury, period, but specifically never when it's a white person. Which could you imagine a white person being the defendant and there's an all-white jury, or a jury with no white person, not even one? You wouldn't see that, but it's okay for it to happen to us. And then they'll sit there and ignore all of that. And then Jeff Metcalf said that black people cannot they have to be biased. He basically said that we can't refrain from being biased. But I find that interesting because that's exactly what he is. He's the epitome of it.
Yeah, they say what they are.
Another thing is, let me say this. I was on a TikTok live the other night, and this white woman said that why is it that black people always condone stuff that their people do just because they're black? She said us white people, we're the ones that are always honest. And I thought that was so hilarious. She's serious because here's what I know. When we see their mass killers and their mass shooters and school shooters, they'll show prom pictures of them or say nice things. Oh, he was such a good math student. The guy who shot up the theater that time and killed 30 people, I believe it was, they showed a picture of him in a tuxedo. The guy, Christopher Watts, who murdered his entire family, including his children, they showed a picture of him happy with his family, all smiles, as if he was some great dad. These are the things they do. But the young black lady and her sister who were on the subway stabbed and their throats slashed by the white guy, if you all remember that years ago, they showed a picture of the one that died, the one that got her throat slit. They showed a picture of her holding what looked like a gun to try to demonize her as if she deserved it. But it wasn't even a gun. It was a cell phone case that looked like a gun. But these are just some of the things they do. And then one more thing I want to say before I turn it over to someone else. With the actual data reported annually from the Federal Bureau of Investigation, white individuals account for the largest percentage of known hate crime offenses. In recent reporting years, such as 2022, white offenders were responsible for approximately half of all identified perpetrators where the race was known. Okay, the FBI hate crime statistics consistently show that white individuals make up the largest demographic of known offenders, typically around 50 or 52%. Black or African American individuals represent the second group, usually making up around 20 to 24%. So they're more than twice, okay, the culprits of hate crimes than we are. And again, you don't see any white people swinging from trees. But the last part I want to say is Black and African American individuals are consistently the most targeted group for race-based hate crimes. But we don't have an anti-Black hate crime bill, but there's one for the Asians, and I'm hearing that there's going to be one for the Indians soon, okay, accounting for more than half of all race-reported based incidents. And then last but not least, hate crime statistics are widely considered undercounts. So that means reporting by local law enforcement agencies to the FBI is voluntary, and many victims choose not to even report the incidents due to fear or lack of trust in authorities. And they also fear retaliation. So that's just from the ones that have actually been reported. Okay, now someone else can give your thoughts. We're going to wrap it up in about 15 minutes because then we'll be at the 2 hour mark.
Okay.
Yeah.
I do want to say I'm glad that the Dream Team stepped in and they're helping the Carmelo Anthony family. And I'm sure you know, Queen, but I'm not sure if everybody else knows that yesterday they submitted for a new trial. The powerhouse, the Tigers, Lions, and Bears that are on this case, these lawyers, this Dream Team, applied or submitted for a new case for Carmelo yesterday. So that's a good thing. Me personally, I believe that Carmelo is going to come out of that prison, and I believe that it's going to be a whole different ball game, because people are saying, oh no, he's not going to get. I believe they are going to let him out, and they are going to basically turn this whole thing around for them, because these lawyers are powerhouse lawyers in their different fields that they specialize in. So they know they can run everything through a fine tooth comb and pick out everything, of course, that went wrong, which I mean a million things that went wrong. But I do believe in this team, and I do believe that he will be let free once that trial appeal is done. But yeah, and prayers for Carmelo Anthony's family and everybody, for the lawyers and for everybody involved.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Jean, you can go, and then Obasi, and then I'll close out.
Okay. Yeah. I was going to say about the hate crimes where you said that just me personally in my life, the amount of direct attempts of violence towards me for no other reason that I'm extremely dark skinned. No, I can't even count on both of my hands. Like it's been that many in my 56 years from the time I've been a little ass kid to the other day. It's unbelievable. And it started going down a little bit, and then Trump got in office, and then people got more bold with it. So I experience it now, like not too long ago, but maybe a month ago. Joker Child put his hands on me. Like that's a big mistake.
Mm-hmm.
Like so, yeah, because we don't call the police. Like a hate crime go against a white person, they call the police. We don't usually call the police about that. You deal with it however you gotta deal with it. If you lost, and then if they come at you, right? If they come at you because you're dark, then and they lose, they call the police. Like you started it. Like what are you talking about? Now I got a crime against me because you went to attack me and I won. Like it's insane, and we've been living in this for so long, and it didn't get no better. And they got people actually sitting there saying that racism went back up when Obama got in office. Yeah, no, it's been here the whole time. Like people say it and don't even understand. It's always been here. Y'all just didn't see it because y'all not black. We've been seeing it the whole time. Ain't nothing changed. Y'all been seeing it because y'all not black. Yeah, we got it rough.
See it when you're the ones doing it.
Exactly. Like you the culprit. You the perpetrators. Like your folks is the perpetrators, and you was in your little bubble, so you never got a chance to see outside your bubble. And then the internet came, and now you go, oh wow, it's so racist. It's been that my whole life. I've been walking in it. Like I'm dark. I feel like the darker you are, the more you experience. And man, I experienced it from the time I was a little kid all the way up until right now. Sad, but yeah, that's it for me.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Obasi.
You know, I always talk about Timothy Hudson since they're so upset. And I did a live the other day, and I said, well, white American, white people, they don't care about crime. They only care about the narrative. And I said, well, why aren't y'all speaking about Timothy Hudson, the 16-year-old? And they had to bend their arm to even bring him up. Like they allowed him to walk around free for a while. That took his sister out, his stepsister, on a Carnival cruise, right? And I said, well, why aren't y'all the same way of enraged? If white lives matter, because they love that, you know, and they get in their teeth. White men fight back, and this is what Jake Lang had a White Lives Matter sign. So if white lives matter, why aren't y'all in a tizzy about 16-year-old Timothy Hudson that took the life of his stepsister? And here's where they try to play mind games and semantics. And they said under my post, they said, well, because they told me, they said, it goes back to what you were talking about, Queen, about the black on black violence. They said, well, he told me, he said, I dare you guys to talk about what happened in Chicago, because that's their go-to place. Chicago. And they can throw random numbers out, 15 people were no real truth, right? And I said, well, why are you silent to Timothy Hudson? And here's what they said, well, the news is speaking about it. What else do you want us to say? I said, well, I'm asking, why aren't you enraged? Why aren't y'all saying Timothy should be strange fruit the way y'all are saying with Karmelo? Because you actually don't care about the crime. You don't care about life. You care about you wanted Karmelo to be the victim. That's the only thing. And Austin lost, and he didn't. Austin lost his life, so you're gonna hate him forever because he was supposed to be the victim.
Right. And that 16-year-old, not only did he take his stepsister's life, but he also R-worded her, S-8'd her.
Absolutely.
They said that too.
Absolutely.
So, but they'll be so quick to say that we don't care about the crime that happens in our communities. Yeah, we do actually address that. And the only reason they would likely not know that is because that is not publicized in the news media. Just like that whole situation with the Carnival Cruise and that Hudson dude. They mentioned that on the news like maybe once or twice. They did not, it's not a national story. It has not gotten nearly as much coverage as this case has. And they never do when it's their own people. Okay, they never do when it's their own people, but they want to be so quick to say, oh, we don't hold our people accountable. No, the people who don't hold their own accountable are them. That's what they don't do.
And like you said, that person that said, she lied to you right then when she said white people always tell the truth. She lied then.
For real.
Exactly. And then when Jeff Metcalf said that black people have to be biased, that's why, you know, basically if we're on the jury or whatever, but we know that's what they are. Let's not forget it was an all-white jury that acquitted the killers of Emmett Till. Ha! Okay, they literally got acquitted and then went and did an interview with some magazine and got paid $4,000 to tell the truth of what really happened, and then admitted to it after the trial. But we have to be biased? Absolutely not. They're the ones that are the most biased. That's why we have the term racial profiling, because that came from their bias. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, anyone want to have any closing remarks? And I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. I want to thank everyone on the panel. Please give out your social media information again so everyone knows where to follow you.
I don't even know my social media. What is it?
You can give it again, beloved, if you choose to.
I don't even think I gave it the first time. at Jeans Black Spartacus on TikTok. I'm not sure on my YouTube one.
Okay.
Yeah, that's about it.
Lounge, you can go next, and then Obasi. The Lounge.
Oh, I can't. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, beloved. Okay, we can't hear you. Looks like your mic is muted, beloved. Your mic is muted. The Lounge, your mic is muted. Obasi, you go ahead and we'll wait for her to get her audio together.
You can find me as Cerebral Assassin 221 on YouTube and on TikTok. And I just want to thank you for this opportunity. I want to thank you for the invite.
Absolutely. Anytime. Okay, the Lounge, are you ready? I had some pictures I wanted to show you all.
Can you guys hear me? I can't hear.
Yes, go
I
ahead,
can't hear
beloved.
anybody.
Yeah, go ahead. We're closing out.
I can't hear anybody, but I'm just going to give you guys my my hooks and handles for Instagram, for Facebook, for TikTok, and here on YouTube. I am The Lounge 8385. You guys can catch me on all my socials. And y'all, we're going to get through this. Karmelo is going to be free.
Okay, absolutely. Now, I just put a link in the chat for you all. You can go to that website, Collin County, Texas Government Details. It shows all these pictures of Karmelo, some awards, and then it shows him and Eddie all the time. Eddie was lying on the stand saying he didn't know him. But I was going to pull it up and show it to you all, but for some reason, it's not allowing me to. It opened up and I could see it, but it wasn't allowing me to share it for some reason. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, listen. This was a very good panel. Everyone gave very good talking points, and I appreciate your views and thoughts and opinions. Everybody brought something that was interesting from their point of view and perspective to the panel, and we'll have to do this again. And I want to thank you all for taking time out of your busy day. You could have been anywhere, but you chose to be here, so I appreciate you all. I want to give thanks to everyone in the chat. Okay, thanks to the trolls, because engagement is good. That helps the algorithm. So trolls, I knew you meant to come here and be nefarious, but you helped nonetheless. And it also helped me to see who you were, okay, so that I know to block you. Okay, so that all being said, I want to thank everyone, and we're going to conclude the broadcast. And we're going to conclude the broadcast. And with that all being said, I love you all to life. Okay, my loyal royals. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time, I will talk to you all again soon. Peace.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen. Why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. See a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I I do not play by my piece. This time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood, kings all in my circle. You touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen. Why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got